Howdy guys, I am back in Mass Effect. Last time I finally took down Matriarch Benezia and I've been neglecting my squad mates, so this episode I'm going to be mostly talking to them, and I'm going to start with Liara because I'm curious how she's doing after we killed her mom, so...
If you are here to talk about Benezia's death, you need not bother. She brought it upon herself.
You don't feel bad?
Don't pretend it doesn't bother you. She was your mother.
She was. But she was not. I prefer to remember Benezia as she used to be, before she was corrupted by Sovereign's power.
She's still with you? It's Saren's fault. Man, it is Saren's fault, but Benezia kinda knew what she was getting into. She's still with you.
The best of your mother lives on in you. Her determination, her intelligence, her strength.
That is kind of you to say. I appreciate your concern, but I am fine. Benezia chose her path, just as I have chosen mine. I am with you until the end, Shepard.
Okay, well, I'd like to talk about you.
Tell me about yourself, Liara.
Me? I am afraid I am not very interesting, Commander. I spend most of my time on remote digs, unearthing mundane items buried in long-forgotten Prothean ruins.
You must be lonely. Do you like it? Sounds boring. Do you like it? I think that'd be interesting.
You must enjoy something about it.
I love my work. Seeking out history's lost secrets has a special appeal for me. You were actually touched by working Prothean technology. That is why I find you so fascinating, Commander.
I'm fascinating? Don't try to study me. I'm fascinating.
Sounds like you want to dissect me in a lab somewhere.
What? No, I did not mean to insinuate. I never meant to offend you, Shepard. I only meant that you would be an interesting specimen for an in-depth study. No, that's even worse.
I wasn't serious. Relax. I wasn't serious. I was just... You know, that's the thing about some of these dialogue wheel options, especially on these older games. I know this happened to me a lot in Dragon Age where I click one of these and, you know, I think it's kind of lighthearted and then Shepard spits out something horrible and it's like, I didn't want to say that. Oh my gosh. I wasn't serious. I feel like Mass Effect's a bit better than Dragon Age in that regard, though, about misleading dialogue wheels, but let's go say I wasn't serious.
Calm down, Liara. I was only joking.
Joking? Oh, by the goddess, how could I be so dense? You must think I am a complete and utter fool. Now you know why I prefer to spend my time in the field with data disks and computers. I always seem to say something embarrassing around other people. Please, just pretend this conversation never happened.
Man, I understand Liara more than you'll ever know. I feel like that too. So, let's see if she has anything new to say about Benezia.
Do you know why Benezia joined up with Saren?
Benezia was swept up in events beyond her control and lost herself. She fell under the spell of indoctrination and became part of the very thing she wanted to stop. But I will remember and honor how she lived. Not how she died. My mother was strong, kind, and beautiful. And now she is gone.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Are you gonna be okay?
You are kind to ask, Shepard. I do miss her, and I grieve for what happened to her. But I will not let my grief interfere with what we are trying to accomplish.
It seems like this is something she made peace with a long time ago, I guess. I mean, there's not really any telling how long Benezia has been under his influence. I mean, I don't think they've mentioned exactly, like, time-wise how long she's been in it, you know? How about your culture?
I'd like to know more about the Asari.
We were the first species to discover the Citadel. We were instrumental in forming the Council, and we always strive to be the voice of peaceful cooperation in galactic disputes. My people believe we are all part of a single galactic community. Each species contributes something to the greater whole. Although we seek to understand other species, it seems few of them seek to understand us. The galaxy is filled with rumors and misinformation about my people.
Rumors?
Like what?
Most of the inaccuracies are centered around our mating rituals. My species is monogendered. Male and female have no real meaning for us. We still require a partner to reproduce. This second parent, however, may be of any species and any gender.
Uh, Man, we're getting into some sticky territory here. I don't know if I wanna know, but I'm also kind of curious, so how is that
I
possible?
don't understand. Your species can mate with anyone?
Mating is not quite the proper term, not as you understand it. Physical contact may or may not be involved, but it is not an essential element of the union. The true connection is mental. Our physiology allows us to meld with other beings. We can touch the very depths of their minds. We explore the genetic memory of their species. We share the most basic elements of their individual and racial identities. We then pass these traits on to our daughters. It is how we learn to grow as a species and how we develop a greater understanding of other races.
What? This is crazy. What about the other parent?
What happens to your partner after the union?
Every relationship is different. Some unions are a single encounter with both parents parting ways afterwards. Others can be more long-term. Sometimes an Asari and her partner will stay together for many decades.
Oh my gosh, this is kind of cool. Like, I don't want to ask who is your father because that's not quite how it works from how I'm understanding it, but I'm gonna click on it.
Do you know who Matriarch Benezia chose as her partner?
She rarely spoke of her partner. Though I know my father, if you want to use that term, was another Asari.
You don't know who?
Benezia never told you her partner's name?
Union with our own kind is no longer common, not for the purposes of reproduction. Most Asari believe it weakens our species. Asari daughters inherit racial traits from the father species. If both parents are Asari, then nothing has been gained, or so conventional wisdom would hold. I am what is sometimes called a pureblood, though no Asari would ever be cruel enough to say the word to my face. It is a great insult among my people.
Whoa.
It is possible Benezia's partner was embarrassed by their union. She may have been too ashamed to publicly acknowledge me as her offspring.
What? This is really, really, really crazy. You know, I mean, it's backwards, isn't it? Because I think a lot of biracial people kind of deal with being, you know, not really one or the other. And in Liara's case, it's the complete opposite. It's because she's pure-blooded that she's made fun of. That's kind of an interesting take on a situation, a prevalent situation, I think. Well, I don't even know how to answer her. You don't know that? That's terrible. Then why'd she do it? Yeah, then why'd she then why'd she do it?
Why agree to the union if she didn't want any children?
I cannot answer that. This is all speculation on my part. It is possible she wanted to be part of my life, but something happened to her before she had the chance. Benezia never spoke of her partner. Whatever happened, it caused her too much pain to dwell on it. She raised me by herself, though that is not uncommon. Many Asari raise their children alone, particularly if the father species is short-lived. Often the partner will pass on long before the child reaches maturity.
What? Man, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, these Asari live for like 1,000 years, and if like they had a Solarian that lived like maybe 40 years, it's like the father would basically be dead before they're even considered a toddler, huh? How do they deal with that?
You Asari live for 1,000 years. What happens when your partner dies?
Few sapient species live as long as my kind. We have learned to take a philosophical approach to our unions. We do not focus on the inevitable loss of our partners. Instead, we enjoy the time we spend with them. And even after they're gone, a part of them lives on in us. The union is a connection that transcends both time and space.
Man, Asari, you're cool. Alright, well, I've already talked to her about who is your father. I don't know if any new dialogue will open up.
Do you know who Matriarch Benezia
Yeah.
chose?
She rarely spoke of her partner. Though I know my
you can
father,
do that? I guess I
if
can
you
go
want to
this
use that
way.
term, was another Asari.
I thought you always needed another species to serve as one of the parents.
Think about it, Shepard. If we were not able to mate with our own species, we would have died out long before we ever mastered spaceflight and left our homeworld. Union with our own kind is no longer common. Not for the purpose
Okay, yeah, and it
Asari
goes...
daughters inherit racial traits from the father species. If both
Okay.
I am what is sometimes
Okay, it
is
loops...
possible Benezia's partner was embarrassed by their union.
I'll just
She may have been
answer...
too ashamed to
Again,
publicly
the
acknowledge
same
me
way
as her
again.
offspring.
Yeah.
Many
Alright.
Asari raise
Alright.
their children alone.
I should go.
Goodbye,
Okay, so
Shepard.
it just basically kind of loops back around to what she already said, so that's why I skipped through it. Alright, let me quick save real quick, and I'm gonna try talking to her again because sometimes a new dialogue opens. So let's see if she has anything new to say.
I get the feeling you want to ask me something, Commander.
Nothing important.
I just wanted to talk.
Of course, Shepard. What did you want to talk about?
Nope, okay, nothing.
I should go.
Alright.
Goodbye, Shepard.
So I guess I'm done with Liara. How about you? You're not really one of my squad mates, but you might have something new to say.
Yes, Commander? Is there something you need?
I can ask her about Kaidan.
How well do you know the lieutenant?
I'd never worked with him before this mission. But he has an impressive service record. Over a dozen special commendations. Tends to keep to himself, though. Maybe because of the headaches. It's not easy being an L2.
L2.
What does that have to do with it?
Well, most biotics now use the L3 implants. Lieutenant Alenko was wired with the old L2 configuration. Sometimes there are complications.
What?
What kind of complications?
Severe mental disabilities, insanity, crippling physical pain. There's a long list of horrific side effects. Kaidan's lucky. He just gets migraines.
Oh gosh, yeah, migraines. Just a walk in a park.
How did you end up serving on an Alliance ship?
I enlisted right out of med school. Earth always seemed boring to me. Too safe, too secure. I figured the colonies were teeming with exotic adventure. I wanted to travel the stars, tending the wounds of tough soldiers with piercing eyes and sensitive souls. Turns out military life isn't quite as romantic as I'd imagined. But humanity needs the Alliance if we want to keep expanding through the Traverse, and the Alliance always needs good doctors. So I stayed on to do my part.
I think this is a pretty cool chick. I like her.
Ever think you made the wrong choice?
Sometimes I think about opening a private practice back on Earth, or maybe taking a position at one of the new med centers out in the colonies. But there's something special about working on soldiers. If I left the Alliance now, I'd feel like I was abandoning them.
Okay.
I should go.
Goodbye, Commander.
She's really cool. I like her. She's pretty much like a classy sounding lady. I like her. Alright, so let's talk to Kaidan because I haven't even talked to him since I got my new squad mates. Let's see how he's doing. That look.
Commander, do you have a minute?
For what? I don't. I'm listening. I'll be nice.
I always make time for my officers.
Off the record, I think there's something wrong here. This Saren is looking for a lost mass relay to who knows where, but we can't get backup from the Council? Sorry, Commander. There's writing on the wall here, but someone isn't reading it.
I hear you. Don't worry about it. What do you expect me to do? I hear you.
The Council doesn't want to believe anything's wrong. I'd call it human nature, but...
I hear you. It just seems like a group that's been around as long as the Council should see this coming. I mean, it's funny, we finally get out here, and the final frontier was already settled. And the residents don't even seem impressed by the view. Or the dangers.
An old-fashioned view. Zip it, Lieutenant. Cute way to look at it. All of these seem so kind of condescending. I don't really like any of them. How about an old-fashioned view?
Well, you're a romantic. Did you sign on for the dream, Alenko? Secure a man's future in space?
Yeah, I read a lot of those books when I was a kid, where the hero goes to space to prove himself worthy of a woman he loves, or, you know, for justice. Maybe I was a romantic in the beginning, but I thought about it after brain camp. Biotic acclimation and temperance training. I'm not looking for the dream. I just want to do some good. See what's out here. Sorry if I got too informal. Protocol wasn't a big focus back in Bot.
That's alright. What did they train you for?
Tell me about it.
Biotic acclimation and temperance didn't last past the airlock. To the kids they hauled in, it was brain camp. Sorry, hauled in is unkind. We were encouraged to commit to an evaluation of our abilities so an understanding of biotics could be compiled. There are worse results of accidental exposure to element zero in the womb. Beats the brain tumors some kids grew up
Oh
with.
my gosh. What? What's the survival rate?
Seems like you beat the odds. How many didn't make it?
Out of 100, maybe 60 have no effect.
Oh.
30 suffer adverse effects, little things like brain cancer. The other 10 show enough ability to augment with implants. Not always permanent, though. Not like the cancer. Next thing you know, you're out on Jump Zero. And how's a kid supposed to deal with that? A station at the edge of human space.
Whoa, you just laid some heavy stuff on me, dude. Like, what? Oh my gosh. Just tell me everything. Jump Zero. What is Jump Zero?
Jump Zero is Gagarin Station, right? What's it like?
Yeah, that's the official name. Biggest and farthest facility we had for decades. Right on the termination shock, the outer edge of the solar system. It's where they did all the Goose Chase FTL research before we caught on to using mass effect fields. It was a sterile research platform when I was there.
Oh my gosh, this guy's been through some hell.
There were other kids in the same boat, right? At least you weren't alone out there.
That's true. We did have a little circle that'd get together every night before lights out. We didn't have much to do, though. It was a research platform then, and Kinetics kept Jump Zero off the extranet to prevent leaks.
Time to talk then.
And you must have had plenty of time to get to know each other.
Yeah, we'd sit around and bull every night after dinner, play cards or network games. There was this girl named Rana, who had a little circle grow up around her. She was from Turkey. Her family was very rich. But she was smart and charming as hell. Beautiful, but not stuck up about it. Like you, I guess. Ma'am.
Hold up, man. Hold up. Hold on. I'm not trying to get like that with you, man. I'm not trying to get like that. Did you love her?
Sounds like she was special to you.
She was. Maybe she felt the same. But things never felt together. Training, you know.
Yeah, I understand.
You know of any intentional exposures for certain?
No one knows. Doesn't mean they didn't happen. As big as the exposures were, it was hard to track down accidentals. It was different then. No one knew the potential, so there wasn't a lot of regulation. Anything Kinetics did was gold. I'm not saying they intentionally detonated drives over our outposts, but in retrospect, they were damn quick on the scene.
Sounds rough. Go on.
Jump Zero's a long way from home. What was it like?
The grand gateway to humanity looks a lot better in the vids. Anyway, this was supposed to be a casual debrief, not a bull session about stuff that happened years ago.
Yeah, I'm interested. I want to know my crew. You're right. I want to know my crew. I don't want to... I'm afraid to answer one of these because I don't want to give him the wrong impression. Shepard's already making googly eyes at him. I just want to know my crew.
We have to depend on each other in combat. I like knowing what kind of man I have at my back.
I understand, ma'am. I won't let you down. You, make a habit of getting this personal with everyone?
To some degree, yes.
Of course. But I don't enjoy it with everyone. We'll talk again later.
I'll need some time to process that, Commander. But, yeah, I'd like that.
Man, Kaidan kind of reminds me of, Anders from Dragon Age 2. You say something to him and he's wiggling his eyebrows at you and grinning. It's like, dude, I'm not trying to get with you. I just want to get to know you. Calm down. I don't think you'll have anything new to say.
Anything you need, Commander?
Looking for personal input, tactical appraisal.
What's your opinion on the last mission?
Killing Saren's, what was Benezia anyway? Second in command? Advisor? Anyway, it should set him back a bit. I'm sure Dr. Tassoni's hurting, though. Poor kid. Having to kill her own mom.
Okay, so he does have some new stuff to say. What about the Arachne Queen?
Any opinion on the Rachni?
Off the record, if we had the option, I'd as soon have left it to the Council. We weren't out here during the Arachni War. I'm not sure we have any business getting involved.
I don't like the Council, though. Looking for personal input.
Just trying to get a sense of where the crew's at. Thoughts?
I've wasted enough of your time for now, Commander. We'll have time for personal debriefings later.
Alright, calm down.
We'll talk later, Kaidan.
I'd like that.
Okay, so nothing else to say to him, so I'm gonna go find some other people to talk to and I'll be right back. Alrighty, we made it down here to Tali. Let's see what she has to say.
Your ship's amazing, Shepard. I've never seen a drive core like this before. I can't believe you were able to fit it into a ship this small.
I'm starting to understand why you humans have been so successful. I had no idea Alliance vessels were so advanced.
Let's see. Gathering information on this ship special. Normally they're not. Normally they're not.
The Normandy's a prototype. Cutting-edge technology.
A month ago, I was patching a makeshift fuel line into a converted tug ship in the flotilla. Now, I'm sitting on board one of the most advanced vessels in Citadel space. I have to thank you again for bringing me along. Traveling on a vessel like this is a dream come true for me.
You're into ships?
I had no idea you found ship technology so interesting.
It comes with being a Quarian. The migrant fleet is the key to the survival of my people. Ships are our most valuable resource. But we don't have anything like this. We make do with cast-offs and second-hand equipment. We just try to keep them running for as long as we can. Some of the fleet's larger vessels date all the way back to our original flight from the Geth.
Oh, wow, gosh, you're hard-pressed to find a computer that can work for more than 5 or 6 years these days.
I can't believe your fleet's still using ships that are 3 centuries old.
They're constantly being repaired, modified, and refitted. They aren't pretty, but they work. Mostly. We've tried to make ourselves as independent as possible on the flotilla, grow our own food, mine, and process our own fuel. But some things we just can't make on our own. A patch to maintain the hull integrity requires raw materials we just don't have. That's why our pilgrimages are so important.
Man, I want to see this flotilla. I wonder if there's ever a chance to go see her home, the Quarians, or whatever, the Quarian hometown, or flotilla, or whatever.
Tell me about your people.
Our lives aren't easy. Resources are scarce, and we are constantly on the move. Everything we do must in some way contribute to the continuation of the migrant fleet. There are 17 million Quarians in the flotilla, and each of us relies on the others for survival. The bonds among my people are strong. Unfortunately, we have had to surrender many of the freedoms and civil liberties other species take for granted.
Like what?
What kind of freedoms?
Well, it's illegal for parents to have more than one child. If our population grows too much, it would strain our resources to their breaking point. Of course, we also can't allow our numbers to become too few. If our population is in decline, the rule against single births is temporarily repealed. In extreme cases of population decline, incentives are even offered to encourage multiple births, though the Conclave hasn't had to take such measures in nearly a century.
Oh my gosh, this is complicated, the Conclave.
That's your government.
The Conclave is our civilian branch of government. Each ship can elect a representative to serve on the Conclave and make decisions that affect the fleet as a whole. On matters that affect an individual ship, however, the captain has the final say. It's a tradition that dates back to the early days, when the fleet was governed by martial law. Fortunately, most captains nowadays are smart enough to have an elected council from their crew to give them advice and guidance.
These are such a cool people, so you're democratic.
So the ultimate power rests with elected officials?
In practice, the Conclave and the respective council for each ship tend to set the rules that govern our daily lives. But in theory, we are still under military jurisdiction. The 5 top-ranking military officials in the fleet serve on the Admiralty Board. These 5 have the power to overrule any decision by the Conclave in case of emergency. To do so requires unanimous agreement among the Admiralty, and they can only do this once. After that, the entire board must resign their posts.
Ooh.
It's a safeguard that served us well. In nearly 3 centuries, the Admiralty Board has only overruled the Conclave 4 times.
I guess that's a pretty good track record. My gosh, I really hope you get a chance to visit this flotilla or something. It sounds really cool. I want to see it.
I want to know more about the Geth.
I doubt I can tell you anything you don't already know. It's been almost 3 centuries since they drove my people into exile. All I know is the story of their origins, what they were when we created them, and how they turned on us.
Gosh, biggest mistake you guys ever made.
Interesting.
The Geth were originally created to serve as an automated manual labor force. Initially, their intelligence was as limited as any VI. Over time, we made small modifications to their programming to allow them to perform more varied and complex tasks, bringing them closer and closer to true AI status.
So, isn't AI research illegal?
How come the Council didn't step in and stop you?
This wasn't true AI research. We may have been skirting the bounds of the law, but we never did anything that was actually illegal. The changes were so insignificant, so gradual, that we were able to control them. Or so we thought. But one thing we underestimated was the power of the neural network. A million Geth thinking simultaneously created an inherently unstable matrix.
The neural network?
So the Geth share brainpower?
Many of the Geth's logic systems were designed to work in concert with other nearby Geth. Basically, the more of them you have in a group, the smarter they are.
Oh, creepy. So, don't run into a horde of these. So why did they turn on you?
What made them rebel?
As we built more and more Geth, their effective intelligence became more sophisticated, more abstract. One day, a Geth began to ask its Quarian overseer questions about the nature of its existence. Am I alive? Why am I here? What is my purpose? As you can imagine, this caused a near panic among my people.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I can't imagine, using my equipment and it starts having an existential crisis right in front of me. It's like, man, I just need you to, till the farm or something. I didn't need you to wonder why you need to till the farm. So what happened next?
What did you do?
It was inevitable the newly sentient Geth would rebel against their situation. We knew they would rise up against us, so we acted first. A general order went out across all Quarian-controlled systems to permanently deactivate all Geth. The Geth responded to this order violently.
Oh my gosh. Heck, I wanna, can I have a Mass Effect prequel? I would love to play this game of the Quarians versus the Geth. I think that would be a really interesting game. So, oh gosh, I don't want to say it was your fault. I mean, I think I would have, if my computer started becoming self-aware, I'd probably take an axe to it or something. I wouldn't want to risk it. What did you expect? They defended themselves. I don't really like any of these choices. Well, what did you, I don't blame you, I'd have done the same, but, well, what did you expect?
You didn't really think they'd just let you destroy them without a fight, did you?
The hope was that most of the Geth would still be little more than machines, incapable of organized resistance. But they had progressed much further than anyone anticipated. The war was long and bloody. Millions upon millions of Quarians died at their hands. In the end, we were forced to flee our own homeworld. We feared the Geth would pursue us, but they never came beyond the Veil. Now we drift through space, exile, searching for a way to reclaim what was once ours.
Oh my gosh. I'm not gonna use any of these serves you right, they defended themselves, because they're the Geth. I don't blame them for what they did. Alright, I think I got time for one more thing to hear from Tali. My gosh, I can't believe it. This episode's already been 30 minutes long almost, and I've only talked to 3 of my teammates. I've really been neglecting them. Alright, how about your pilgrimage?
I want to know more about the pilgrimage.
When my people reach maturity, we leave our birth ships and seek acceptance with a new crew. It's necessary to maintain genetic diversity among the fleet. But no ship wants to accept someone who will be a burden on them. So, to prove our worth, we embark on a pilgrimage. We set out alone, leaving the flotilla and our families behind us. We only return once we have found something of value we can bring back to the fleet. This is presented as a gift to the captain of the respective ship we wish to join. If the gift is accepted, we are welcomed into the crew.
Ooh, okay, well, I think that sounds really interesting. I think we should all have something like that. Are you useful to society? Okay, here you go. Well, maybe that might be a little extreme to get, thrown out of your home and just find some really vague something useful, because useful might be kind of relative. Do they always accept?
Can a captain choose to reject the gift?
That doesn't happen often. Most captains are eager to increase the size of their crew. It increases their own standing in our society. Even when a gift is not particularly valuable, the captain usually accepts it out of a sense of tradition. However, there is a stigma to presenting a substandard gift. It's not the best way to make a good impression on a new community. Most pilgrims don't return until they find something worthwhile.
Okay, sounds dangerous.
I can't believe they just send you off alone.
It's not like they just cast us out. Before we leave, we are given lessons in how to survive outside the flotilla, and given gifts to help us on our journey. We also receive implants to fight off sickness and disease. Generations of living in an isolated and highly controlled environment have left our immune systems weaker than most. By the time we leave the fleet, we are well equipped for the pilgrimage. This is a rite of passage for all Quarians. If it were dangerous, our numbers would suffer. Virtually every pilgrimage ends with a triumphant return and the ritual presentation of the gift to one of the fleet's captains.
Okay, and I guess that explains her suit. I never even thought about how they have to live in basically a clean environment all the time, so they have no immune system. That's crazy.
I want to talk about something else.
Like what?
I think I've asked her about everything, so...
I should go.
See you later.
Okay, so, alright, I've managed to talk to 3 people this episode. Liara, Tali, and Kaidan. And, we're out of time, guys. Next time, I'm gonna make it in here and talk to Garrus, Rex, and Ashley, and maybe that'll take another 30 minutes as well. I'm not sure, but, I guess that's what I'll do then. Thank you guys so much for watching me talk to 3 people in Mass Effect for 30 minutes. Glad I got caught up with some of my squad mates, and I'm gonna do it next time too. So I'll see you guys then. Bye for now.